desert of Karbala had grown silent. But with each passing day, the tension was increasing. Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, his family, and his companions were now surrounded. The promises of Kufa had disappeared. The path ahead was becoming clearer. And the hardest days in the story of Karbala were about to begin. So what happened between the 6th and the 10th of Muharram? Let's look at the historical reports. Day 6 of Muharram. By the 6th of Muharram, additional forces had continued arriving in Karbala. The camp of Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu was becoming increasingly isolated. The difference in numbers between the two sides was now obvious. Yet despite the pressure, Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu remained firm. He continued reminding people of justice, truth, and accountability before Allah. His principles did not change simply because the situation became difficult. And perhaps that is a lesson for us today. Many people stand for truth when it costs nothing. But real faith appears when standing for truth comes with a price. Day 7 of Muharram. Historical reports commonly mention that access to the water of the Euphrates was restricted. The conditions inside the camp became much harder. Families, companions, and children were now facing increasing hardship. The desert heat was unforgiving. The days were long. And the situation continued to worsen. Yet patience remained. For many of us, even a small inconvenience can make us frustrated. But Karbala teaches us that patience is not weakness. Patience is strength. And trust in Allah becomes most valuable during times of hardship. Day 8 of Muharram. By the 8th of Muharram, it had become increasingly clear that the crisis was reaching its final stage. The camp remained surrounded. The uncertainty remained. But neither fear nor pressure caused Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu to abandon what he believed was right. His companions also remained beside him. Not because the situation was easy, but because they believed in loyalty, faith, and principle. This is something our generation should reflect on. Many friendships disappear when difficulties arrive. But true loyalty appears during hardship. Day 9 of Muharram, Tasu'a. The 9th of Muharram, known as Tasu'a, became one of the most emotional days before Ashura. Historical reports indicate that preparations for conflict were becoming increasingly apparent. Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu requested additional time. That night became a night of worship, a night of prayer, a night of reflection, and a night of turning toward Allah. The companions spent the night in devotion, knowing that the next day could be their final day. And perhaps there is a lesson here for every believer. When life becomes difficult, do we move closer to Allah or further away from Him? The people of Karbala chose faith, even in their hardest moments. Day 10 of Muharram, Ashura. Then came the 10th of Muharram, the day of Ashura. The day that would forever be remembered in Islamic history. Historical sources differ regarding some exact details and sequences of events. However, historians generally agree that the major martyrdoms associated with Karbala took place on this day. Among those remembered in the historical accounts are loyal companions and members of the family of Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu. Names often mentioned in the reports include Muslim ibn Asaja, Habib ibn Muzahir, Qasim ibn Hassan, Ali Akbar ibn Hussein, Abbas ibn Ali, and others who remained loyal until the end. One by one, companions and family members were lost. The camp faced immense hardship. Yet those who remained continued to show courage and determination. Eventually, Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu himself was martyred. And with that, the tragedy of Karbala reached its climax. The lesson of Karbala. More than 13 centuries have passed. Empires have risen and fallen. Generations have come and gone. Yet the story of Karbala continues to be remembered. Why? Because Karbala is not only about history. It is about principles. It is about faith during hardship. It is about patience during trials. It is about remaining truthful when lying is easier, and it is about standing for what is right even when standing alone. Today, we may not face the same challenges, but we face our own tests. The test of honesty. The test of temptation. The test of patience. The test of staying close to Allah in a world full of distractions. And that is why the lessons of Muharram remain relevant today. Ending. As the sun set on the day of Ashura, the events of Karbala became part of history. But the lessons remained. Lessons of courage. Lessons of patience. Lessons of faith, and lessons that continue to inspire millions of people around the world. The story of Karbala ended, but its message never did. Assalamu alaikum.